Guys, now I'm going to explain the concept of interface in Java. So these interfaces are used to achieve abstraction in Java classes. So initially, what does interface mean? That interface is a collection of abstract methods and static and final constants. So all these are included in an interface. So this is used to achieve complete abstraction. So before abstraction classes were used to achieve abstraction in Java. So it doesn't give 100% accuracy, but this interfaces gives us 100% accuracy that it gives abstraction. It fulfills the abstraction concept in OOPS. So here there were something known terms that we need to understand before that we need to know before implementing interfaces in Java. So every interface in Java is abstract by default. So here when I come to abstraction, here we need to declare abstract keyword when we need to create an abstract class. But when it comes to interface, I don't need to add abstract keyword for interface. So initially by default, an interface is abstract by default. So and again, interface fields are public static. Here, this field I've created an integer a equal to 20. So when we are in normal inheritance, like we are in a single inheritance or when we are performing some functions in classes, it is called an instance variable when we don't attach the static keyword before the data type of an variable, right? So here I haven't attached any of the static variable here. So initially, this particular field, integer a equal to 20, is a final keyword and static keyword. Both are default, both are attached by default, or both are joined by default for this interface fields. So we can't change the value of a to some other value, and we can't access the value without an object, right? So since it is not an instance variable. So here I'm creating void method. So there are some rules for to follow when we create an interface and a method in interface. So what is the rule is that and basically I told you that fields are public, static, and final by default. And when it comes to methods, methods are public and abstract. So we don't need to use abstract keyword here. By default, they are public and they are abstract. So we need to inherit the method also when we are trying to inherit this interface. So I'm creating this interface name as Surya, and this is my first interface. And I forgot to tell you that. So when we inherit a class from another class, we use the keyword extends, right? We use the keyword extends. And when we try to inherit an interface by using some other interface, we can use the keyword extends. So here, if I try to ex inherit this, I can use the extends keyword here, extends Surya. So there will be no error here. So if I try to use, if I try to inherit this interface to a class, I need to use a keyword implements. This is a keyword implements. So I have created two interfaces here. There is no relation between this first interface and second interface. Both are different. And here I've created this public class interface. My class name is interface and my class is completely public. And here the reason why I have used implements is that I have already previously told you that we need to use the keyword implements when we are inheriting a class from an interface, right? So from interface to interface, we can use extends. From interface to class, we need to use implements. So I have used implements, and we can't perform multiple inheritance in Java. But multiple inheritance in Java is performed by using interfaces. So how is it possible? I'll, I'll explain you now. So what does multiple inheritance initially define as? Multiple inheritance is the process of inheriting. I mean, a child class is created by having an inherited two parents. So what does single inheritance mean as? A second class, a subclass can be created by inheriting the properties of a parent class, right? So it is known as single inheritance. And when it comes to multiple inheritance, a subclass can have the properties of two parents. So it can have the properties of two base class and one derived class. So this is the derived class, and it is acquiring the properties of two base class. So this is how multiple inheritance works in Java by using interfaces. So Surya is my first interface, and Prabhat is my second interface. So I'm inheriting two classes here, two interfaces here by using the keyword implements. And here I need to inherit both the interfaces methods. So the first method in interface Surya is abstract by default. So I need to call this method here, public void method. And in that method, I'm going to give an output statement. This is method. And here, since I inherited Prabhat interface also, I need to write this void another method. I need to inherit this method also, public void another method. I'm giving the statement. When I try to print this statement, I'll get this dot another method. I'm giving this main method here, string arguments. And here, as I've already told you that in abstraction, I can't create an object for abstract class. Parallelly, an interface is abstract by default, right? So we don't need to add an abstract here. So even though if we add here, there's no problem. So there's no error here. So we don't need to add that. It's not necessary. So I've inherited this another method also. I'm going to create an object for the class. Since this is the last, I'm going to create this. And my object name is obj, and you use it for instantiation of an object. And I've created this constructor. This is a default constructor since I haven't given any of the arguments here. And here I'm going to call obj.method. So what is obj.method? This is method is going to be get printed. And obj.another method. What is going to be get printed? This is another method. And now I'm going to access the variable. I'm going to access the static final variable of interface Surya. So this is also known as the parent class for parent interface for this class, interface in abstraction, right? My class name is interface in abstraction. This is the child class, and these both were the parent interfaces. So I'm going to access the variable of Surya interface. So once if I try to access this by using the child class. So what is child class? This is the child class. By using this child class object, I'm accessing this variable, right? So I'm trying to print this system.out.println obj.a. I'll get my output. So this is method, this is another method, and I'm going to print this obj.a. What is the obj.a? 20. And now I'll try to change the obj.a value from 20 to 50, right? So if I try to do that, it's not possible. Let's check that out. The final field surya.a cannot be assigned. So what is the reason? Previously, I've already told you that the field in an interface is already public, static, and final. I can't change the value of an variable when it is attached with a public keyword. So I can't change this. So here the output is this is method, this is another method, and 20. This is the process of using interfaces in Java, and this is how multiple inheritance is performed by using interfaces in Java. So if you have any doubts, please mention in comments. Thank you.